Welcome back to yet another episode of the wonderful #Nofilter. Yes, we are back as the beautiful women of #Nofilter, and today we're talking about the men in our lives. Now, why is it so important that the men in our lives need to support the things that we do as the women? We always hear topics about gender equality always being championed by the women, but why are the men who actually are the ones who really need to engage with this topic not being in the forefront? So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. Why is it important to have the men in our lives, be there, show up, say something, be vocal about it?
She's looking at you, patient.
You gotta speak, girl.
I think, looking at the first part of your question, as in why they don't, because there's a misconception whereby men think that, when I mention what the word gender, it refers to women.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's both male and female causes, so we need to stand together. But then also I feel like as women, we've also made it seem like gender is all about women's causes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we need to stand up more for each other. Women need to stand up for men's causes, and men also need to speak out louder and stand up more for women's causes, so that we are all heard.
Mm-hmm.
Equally.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I think my dad, right, stands up for my causes. And he's really supportive. I think growing up, we were always treated as equal.
Mm-hmm.
In the workspace, I see that, he's like a director in one of my, organizations, and he treats everybody equally. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think if I stand guided by how my dad has raised us as children to be a certain way, it'll be really nice if it was like that just in general.
Yeah.
Where you don't see sex. It's just about delivery of something, expectation of a human being, and just the integrity as a race to be able to do stuff a certain way.
I wanted to come back to like us culturally though. If you see a man helping out a woman and whatnot, I think we are also the cause of why some men don't even stand up for everything women, because now you're looked at as a weaker person. Cannot know as a man. So that's also like looking at our society. We need to stop that so that men can come up and be free about talking about women rights and everything women. I think
there's an organization that you say that has been working in Mashingo right now, and they've just done role reversals. So if a man was supposed to be Mumunda, the man is now in the kitchen, and the women are now Kumunda, just trying to debunk that whole.
So there's a lot more understanding of each other's roles.
Exactly.
Somebody then.
I thought it was
really brilliant.
So good.
I just had to say that.
Would you like to know my artist? I will tell you after the show, darling.
But locally, we also have a lot of, besides, just organizations like, the guys like Anana Padare, who actually day to day will work with, with guys and talk, about these issues. Guys like Issues Paninyaya, who address key issues from the grassroots level. It's something that needs to be dealt with from when people are still kids.
Yeah.
Because I feel if we are not, conscientizing our young men and our young women, we're doing nothing, because at the end of the day, they're going to grow up under this whole misogynistic, environment. And could you change someone's perception from what they have grown up with all their lives to what they now, it's engraved in them. So it becomes really, really difficult. So to get someone to champion your cause, you need from day one. My mom had 3 girls and 1 boy, but my brother will cook. He is an amazing person with a very huge, portfolio, bank manager, all these country managers, stuff that he does. But he can cook, he can clean, he can change a diaper. That's just how powerful he is. And he makes his daughters know, Kuti, I'm your dad, but I can do all of this for you.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and it doesn't make me any less of a man.
Yeah.
I actually provide and a lot of money for you. I'll put you through college, but I can also feed you and clean you and clothe you.
Did you say he's married?
Happily married.
But I think you're really
Yeah.
right. I think catching them when they're young, and I think it's not whatever you learn at home translates to your work life as well. Because I think there's a big gap in the workspaces. Like you'll have women with a certain role and a man with the same role, and their salaries are different. So I think if we start off at a grassroots level, getting it up there, I'm sure we'll be able to change things.
You know, I was watching recently, the edition of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces celebrations.
My uniform, how?
My uniform. You know,
My
I'm just
uniform.
my uniform. But one of the things that I really enjoyed was the announcer or the MC who was, giving the announcements. You know, clearly stated, because you know what, we are a very gender equal organization. You know how the military always looks at the men and never really looks at the women. Today, for the first time in history, I saw women squadron leaders, senior captains within the Air Force and the Zimbabwe Army being given their due causes and their due rights. They were the ones holding the swords. Traditionally, that's the man's sort of, role. But they were being celebrated in such an amazing way. And we had so many, platoons of different women actually, doing the displays, which for me was really exciting for the girl child to say, wow, the women out there were doing some really cool stuff. And for the boys to see that, hang on, it's the women are actually flying those planes. They're, on the ground, carrying those guns, they're doing the work. Things that were traditionally supposed to be for men, but they're doing the work. So we're really excited about that.
So how do we get the men in our lives? Like now, let's go back to the men in our lives generally, adopting this. We've already said that we can start when they're young, but what can we do right now with the other men in our lives?
As women, I think we also need to just educate the men in our lives, because it has to start with us. Because out there, it's all women, hey, no, gender equality, hey, what. So now it feels like the feminist movement is almost getting like in the same line as sexism. Because now, like, women are just there speaking, no, because women, what? And then, like, for me, my boyfriend was asking, what about men rights? So just because women need rights, so just because I'm a man, I'm not supposed to be getting any rights. Is that what it means? And I'm like, no. It's just that now how media is portraying it so far, it's like now women are the only important thing in the world. But when feminism is seeking for equity, for us to coexist in the world. Yeah. So now we need to start at home and be us teaching our men,
our children. I feel like it may be, we may want to teach our dads and our brothers, but I think it's more important to work with the younger generation that's coming up now.
Yeah.
We like to complain about a lot of things that are wrong with the society, but I think as mothers, we spend more time with the kids. We are the ones who are most likely feeding the children the wrong information.
True.
So we start with our kids. You should be able to do everything. We want to favor the boys sometimes and like, no, go ahead, do your homework. And then go ahead, do the dishes, clean the house, what. But we should start teaching them then there at that age that everybody should be able to do everything.
We're gonna, I think we need to come back to this particular topic and delve a little bit deeper into it. So join us after the break. Don't go away now.
Okay, guys, so back again for our second segment where we have the game. Woo! Woo! Okay, so for this one, guys, you have to have like your alter egos as men. So like, what would you do in this situation?
I was a boy.
Yes.
Really?
Rewind my selector.
Pulo. Okay, no, guys, can we be serious? Okay. Yes. So if a girl offered to pay for the date, what would you do as a guy?
Right on, darling. Keep down. Yeah.
Okay. I'd be fine with that.
I'd be offended.
As a guy?
Yeah, as a guy, I'd be offended. Like, chick, I asked you out to this date.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the man. I'm gonna take care of everything. You just order whatever you want. I got you.
And there you are offering to pay, and then nah.
But those type of
like LL Cool J.
They are far and few between Mazvano, to be honest.
What people would be offended?
No, not the ones that, the ones that would be offended. The ones that are just happy
Gentleman.
to just take you out. The chivalry.
Yeah.
You know, that would be just like, I'm taking you out. I think now we have to actually ask, are you taking me out, or is this a...
Are we going to Dutch?
And am I paying? Because they usually...
On the cross Kandiro kitchen. The restaurant afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, the second question. Someone you like ghosts you and now they're reaching out for another date.
Sorry?
She what? What did she do?
She ghosted you, right? When you were, and then she comes back. She's like, "Oh my gosh, yay!" So right here, I'm like,
Oh yeah, I would say, look, let's go out,
Uh-huh.
blah blah, order whatever you want,
Uh-huh.
and then somewhere in the middle, I'm like, look, I'm just gonna call on the phone,
Mhm.
I'm just gonna go outside.
and then you ditch her.
Right.
Thank
like a
God you're
typical-
not a man.
I'm thinking like a typical man, right? Check out, smash, disappear. Because
Wow.
that's what guys do.
No, I think I'll just sit down. I wouldn't engage.
Huh?
I would put her on ice.
Ah,
Complete ice.
like one of those.
What
You
if
know?
she ghosted you because she really really liked you, but she wanted to shut down her other relationship before?
Why didn't you say?
But was I like reaching? If I was expending my efforts, and you were doing that,
Uh-huh.
then suddenly you just want to come up, you're like, nigga,
Son of a sudden.
You say that. Nice.
No. But then I might then follow suit afterwards. But I have to like at least show God it's not gonna pass on.
Yeah.
Okay. Third question. Your date lets you know that they have plans with someone else right after your date.
What?
Just right after.
Girl, I'm dropping you off Kumbari. And you're going to make your way back down on your own.
I'm like, so do you want me to drop you off there? Like, I'm not dropping you off there.
Hayi
Don't say
ndokusiya.
Kumba.
Kusiya kuba.
Don't say
Kuba futhi ndosiye gogo. Ikoko kwatende gogo.
No. I will take her where she wants me to drop her off. Yeah.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna park my car, we're gonna go in there together.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
So we're gonna have plans with that other person together.
I like it. I like it.
Gangsta.
Smelling nice. Okay, I like that. That's a good plan.
Yeah, so this is the dude. Yeah, so this is the dude that. Oh, okay.
So ndakusira ndawa uzokusira bibi rangu.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reaching it.
Yeah.
Rough.
Thank God you guys are not men. Okay, alrighty. So someone breaks up with you over a text.
Ooh. Well, is that not very common?
Where do I work?
I
Where do I work?
don't know.
Radio.
Oh, if you were, oh my gosh. Oh,
Television.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Radio.
if
You'll
I
be
was
like
a
a whole
man,
topic.
I'd be like, fine, block my number.
No, ignore you. Just J. Leave it like that.
Text.
My guy.
Did I buy the phone?
If take back
Good question. Good question. Did I buy the phone?
everything. Make a whole conversation about you. Surely I was invested.
But what's so wrong with you breaking up with somebody over a text, you guys?
Sir.
Disrespect.
It's exactly.
That's.
Bro, no, you can't break up with
I'm
someone
gonna
over
ask
text.
the question again. What type of work do I do?
I guess you have to pick that.
Yeah. What are my limitations?
Your capabilities. Oh God, no! Let's not go there.
I don't want some type of reaction to this breakup, like in person, because I know the type of nigga that I'm dealing with. Right? So I'm just gonna be like, you know what?
It's over. You better say it's over and you're flying out of Zimbabwe. You're not in Zimbabwe. Because, yeah. Okay. So your partner says they are sleeping, but you bump into them at another club.
Where are we meeting these girls?
Oh. And you've actually said to the message, baby, I'm going out. She's like, hey, Dakarara.
And then you see them.
I go back to my car, open my boot, bring out my.
I think what I would do is like I would find some hot chick in the club and I'll start like rolling with them and making sure to do pura every 2 minutes. Ensuring that this girl's got a glass in hand.
I think I'll just go say hi and walk away. You know, say hi, be what.
Drink. I think
Even,
buy
yes,
that.
buy a
I like
drink.
that.
Send the waiter, say, look, go buy buy her whatever she and then show her who's
bought the drinks.
No, I'd actually buy both her
And you
and
wave.
the other guy a drink.
Yes.
And I'd be like,
she's with a guy.
yo,
They didn't say with the
but you said
she was by herself.
sleeping, but you bump into her at the club.
Maybe it was a network thing.
You said I'm sleeping.
you were sleeping.
Network thing in Emanero.
Maybe it's work related. She's working.
In Emanero. No,
Maybe
these
she's
lines.
spying on you. Only then you see her.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's wrong.
Nah.
No.
Right.
Okay, you're on a date and it's going well, but you find out that she's dated one of your friends.
Ooh, that's a deal breaker, that one.
You guys.
Child.
But we got chemistry and it's kind of like working.
Yeah.
Am
But
I
this is
kind
a
of like
friend.
that? It's how
This
close
is a
am I?
friend.
How close?
I think it depends on the guy code. Number one.
Guy
Yeah.
code.
How and also how far did she go with my guy?
Yeah.
And how
my
does
friends?
my guy feel about
Yeah,
her?
I'm not actually gonna call my friend.
No, but how would you be dating this girl if you knew it was like a guy?
No, but you know what?
No.
You know Tambika? You know what? Because you need to get.
No, so on that other side, it wasn't like a thing. It was
Yeah,
just
but
a
the fact that
No, but then okay, one more question before we close. But then see, the thing is, if she's dated your friend that you don't know, so which means you're not
That's what we're
close with
saying.
that other
Yeah, we're
friend.
saying.
So that
Because you
guy
would
code-
know
but
to an
like,
extent.
how
So
many-
guy code
how
wouldn't
many
apply.
Do we disclose to our friends?
High school situation.
How many
know.
relationships do we disclose to our friends? You guys, you only disclose the one that you really feel this is the one.
Okay. Do I feel like she's the one? Do I feel like she's the one?
It's just you on a date.
It's just on a
So
date.
yeah.
I think I'd tell her that, listen, I think we need to tell my friend about this, right? Because I hadn't heard about you, and now that I know,
yeah.
that's my boy.
Or maybe
That's
your
my
boy just
How
smashed.
far did
Sorry,
you- how-
maybe.
How far did you all guys go?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we talk about that because
But you're being too technical. I don't think guys would ever go that far though.
They'll be like straight. Nah.
No, it's either a no or it's like one of those. I'm just gonna smash you and not do anything serious with you. I guess. But anyway, guys, tell us what you think about this game. And if you're a guy, like for all the girls, if you're a guy, what would you do in all these situations? So you can just answer in our comment section. Just tell us what you would do.
That was a very interesting game, wasn't it, guys?
Absolutely.
I thoroughly enjoyed that, and I think I like thinking like a man. Anyway, right now, would like to talk about some men issues. Abuse that happens with men, rapes, men getting beaten up in their homes, and then we want to get into why suicide is on the rise in Zimbabwe in the male species. So, yes, heavy topics, huh?
It's a really heavy topic. I think one of the problems that we have is I'll take it back to our upbringing. We have a culture that tells men you cannot cry. You cannot voice out what's going on with you or what's happening with, if someone
cannot
is...
show weakness.
You cannot show weakness. So you need to take everything in, the good and the bad, to such a point that it then builds up. And unfortunately, the outlet then becomes either depression, suicide, or whatever, or even being the perpetrator in the future. You end up being the one who's now doing either the assaulting or the rapes to other people. So I feel from an early age, we need to encourage people to have a dialogue, be open and talk to your kids. Get them to, open out and say, this is what's going on. If I'm being bullied, if there's someone who's touching me inappropriately, I need to talk about it because it's happening out there. And unfortunately, the thing is, you get people who are in very senior or very powerful positions who threaten you because they've got the money, who threaten you because they have the position. You are maybe in a boarding school somewhere, and we don't know where the hell you are. And it's difficult to relay the message back home to say, this is what's going on, I've got this.
And then maybe you also get those privileges in that area where, because this person has power, so they have the power to make your life easier and difficult.
Absolutely.
And so you just end up choosing, or just being victim.
Mm-hmm.
True. There were some cases that came out in the H Metro or something some time ago about a man that was raped, and he went to report it at the police station, and they were laughing at him. It's not possible. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think also that fear of being laughed at for those kind of situations becomes quite real. I mean, women and men generally don't report rapes. You know,
because you're a victim. You're a victim here, and then now you go and report, and someone laughs at you. You're already gonna withdraw into a shell, and that's like depression.
And he was raped by a woman. You see, so
which made it even worse.
Yeah. So it was like the laughing stock. But I think it was then dealt with afterwards. But I'm finding, like through this counseling thing that I'm doing, that there's a lot of rape with young children, boy children. And I think just the fact that, you know, there's so much on the internet now, like movies are not really, we're not really monitoring what kids are seeing. Sometimes it is rape because it's a child, but they're also curious. And it's like these older women that are abusing the younger kids who are willing to try it out because, you know, just want to see what it's all about. You know what I mean? And it's actually really, really sad. And then they're now dealing with it not from a legal perspective, but from like a psychological comfort counseling type thing, because now the behavior is now translating to other kids. You know?
It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
And I think it also goes back to the home. And, you know, we should encourage, fathers should actually start to show a lot more emotion with their own kids so that their sons can see it's okay to cry. Grandma has died. It's okay to cry. Dad was crying. But we don't see that. And so boys kind of feel like, you know, they shouldn't express themselves. They shouldn't. And you know, right now the economy is really, really bad. So we have a lot of men who are carrying a lot of load and they have no outlet whatsoever. They can't talk to their wives. They can't talk to their siblings. They can't talk to their friends. But, you know, with us ladies, it's easy. You know, we can talk to each other. We can cry. You know, we've been taught it's okay to do that. But I think we should allow our men to show a lot more of their feelings.
So do you think that that's why the suicide rate is on the up?
I think so.
Yeah, because they can't express themselves.
Yeah.
Here you are, things are happening. These boys are like going through all these life situations and they can't express themselves, right? And then, you know, they looked at as not men, because now if you cry, you're not man enough. If you express it or just tell someone, no, this is how I'm feeling, they pull you down like, no, muruma adaro. Hakuna muruma no daro. You're not looked at as a man. So now you keep it inside. And then
in the end, you break down. You have a emotional breakdown. You feel like the only way out is suicide. Because even if I feel like even if they try to speak to other men, they actually then say to you, "Shamari, men up." Men up. You know, I really feel like as women, that's when we should step in and help as much as we can. We're always advocating for equality, but we never really pull our weight. So we need to help out as much as we can and just reach out to our brothers and, you know, just give them a platform where they can actually share. And even when you see something is wrong within a marriage, you know, we're the ones, we're the siblings who actually laugh about it and talk about it. But, you know, we should allow them to, they should know that they have someone to talk to.
So do you know somebody who gets beaten up by the wife?
Yeah, I've heard of a few cases here and there. And it's usually either something to do with finances or because the guy is not performing.
Well, the guy
is not performing in the bedroom.
In the bedroom. And like you're not coming and doing the work for the women. So the women get really angry. And you beat them up. It becomes violent. I tell you why. Because a lot of women out there are really frustrated and this is an outlet for couples. So when you deny me my conjugal rights, trust you me, something's going to happen. So women out there, there's some really aggressive women out there who tell you, listen, if you don't give me what's due me, we're going to have a fight. Wow. So some of the times, it's, you know, these are some of the causes and the reasons.
But then sometimes it's also just, you know, they're always bullies. You know, sometimes it's just somebody who's just bullying the other person, maybe because they're smaller or they know that the other person will not hit back.
I know two prominent artists whose wives used to like
beat them up.
They tried to like
cover it up
over time.
We're supposed to be helping the brothers, not sprinting the story. Don't sprint the gospel.
Yeah, and both of them have ended in divorce, but it was to do with that. And then, but you know what? It only came out after like a really prolonged time of it happening.
But
so a lot of times you try to contain it.
Do Zimbabwean couples actually know we can go for counseling and stuff like that?
We don't believe in counseling.
I think some go, but they go the traditional way where you talk to the tetes. But I think sometimes you need to go to somebody who doesn't know either of you, so that it's fair. Otherwise, sometimes it can turn into a kangaroo court where it's your family against the other person, ganging up against each other. But we don't have that culture. Like when you're growing up, my parents are divorced. When my parents got divorced, my mom used to sit us down and just say, "Look, does anyone have feelings that they want to share? What they want to talk about?" But I know the rest of the other family actually thought it was weird that they wanted to hear what the children, because people don't care about what children, like your parents are divorced, move on, get over it. It is what it is. It's got nothing to do with you. But I think we need to encourage children whilst they're young also to talk about their feelings.
Right.
True.
Like, how are you feeling? You didn't pass in school. How are you feeling? What went wrong? But we don't wafoida, shamu, or we're not trying to understand. So we need to be a little more patient.
There's something that I know the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education wanted to reintroduce, and I think it's something that's currently being debated within Parliament. Back in the day, I don't know if you remember this, especially for us who were boarders, each time we'd go back to school, the very first thing as you arrive, the matron or the nurse at the school used to do inspection, like full body inspection from the things that could spread communicable diseases to other kids. And then also just double checked, are there any bruises on the kids? Because at times kids tend to hide things. We don't want to tell. You are threatened about it. If you even say put in the quatura, it becomes an issue. So they used to do that a lot when I was growing up. And I feel at times it's something that may be necessary to reintroduce, because we are missing some of those critical things. The signs that are coming, because you can see this child is limping. Why? It's a boy child. I said that. So why is this child limping?
Or this child has become reserved.
This child is actually,
and I think it shouldn't be just on the physical things, psychological too.
Counseling services, if you're on medical aid, you can actually use your medical aid card, and a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
And
because it's like, how can I pay to go talk to somebody? How can I, people have that kind of mentality, but you have no idea how much help and how much that will ease the weight on your mind.
Please do share your thoughts, your feelings, your sentiments. We've got a number down below. If you're a boy child and you're experiencing any of these issues that we've been discussing, please do call the number below and speak to somebody. The numbers are right below. Do share. Don't suppress anything.